The Dagoretti project, Child in Need project, is based in Dagoretti, which is a district in Nairobi province. And it's a district that is peri-urban, that means it's half rural, half urban. And it is a multi-ethnic district with many people coming in from different parts of Kenya. They settle into Dagoretti, and we have a big population also coming from refugees from bordering countries. It has a population of 350,000 people, and most of the people rely on casual jobs for their future. And it has a lot of informal settlements because of the people coming in who do not have regular jobs and need a place to stay. The children, by virtue of their age, are naturally vulnerable, and you find that in most cases they are not independent, they cannot take care of themselves, and adults have the responsibility of protecting them. But we have also a very large number of children who are not protected, whose rights are violated, and these are the children we say who are vulnerable because they don't have access to their basic needs, which are food, shelter, health. And the worst form that the children who are evident that are vulnerable, because we see them in the community, on the streets. They park cars, they help you to park your car, they carry heavy luggage or water, and sometimes they scavenge for food in the garbage. So these are the children that we call street children, and recently the terminology has started changing, and we have a variety of them. The strongest one that is being advanced by the United Nations is children with street connections. They live in very difficult environments, exposed to violence. They don't have social attachments, so psychologically they are alone because they have to take care of themselves. They don't have somebody to talk to. Children, by virtue of being children, are vulnerable, are in a form of vulnerability. However, for street children, orphans, and other vulnerable children, this level of vulnerability is much higher, and so they are exposed to a lot of health challenges. The environment they live in, the social aspect, the emotional and psychological and even physical form. Looking at that, rehabilitation deals with those issues of the health aspect of the child in a very holistic manner, looking at how do you deal with the physical, the psychological, the emotional, and the social well-being of the child, so that the child lives as a child. Only that with the children that we work with, they are in a higher level of vulnerability in terms of their health circumstances due to the environment that they live in and the circumstances that they live in. The AMREF approach is called the 4Rs approach, which is an acronym for rescue, rehabilitation, reintegration, and resocialization. This is an approach that is a series of activities that are implemented concurrently, all at the same time. Especially the rescue activities, the rehabilitation activities are targeted directly at the child, the individual child. The reintegration activities also target the family. Then the resocialization activities target the community. All these being activities that are intended to raise awareness within the community about the child and the challenges that they are facing. Research has shown that for every child to develop, they need to be within a family. The child needs a sense of belonging. And this is why for the project, the family is critical, and we ensure that we work within the family setup. The family for us does not mean just the mother and father, because for some children, those people may not be available or may not be in a position to be able to take care of their children. And so for us, the family could mean the brother, the sister, the auntie, the uncle, the grandmother, or even a friend of the family that the child feels that they belong within that setup. And we work with the family to understand the issues at home. We trace the families, we understand the issues at home. We have meetings, counseling sessions, and trainings with the family for us to be able to help the family be a better place for the child. And within for us to be able to get the child back to the family to accept the child and be in a position to take care of their child, then is the lack of economic empowerment. And that is the place that we bring in other partners to support us. We form the parents into groups to support them to become economically able to support their children. AMREF works with the children and for the children within the community. Within the community, AMREF sensitizes the institutions and structures that are responsible for child protection, particularly the education sector, the health sector, the child protection sector itself, or the justice system, which is the police. And we conduct trainings for these structures to empower them. We conduct sensitization meetings where we have meetings with them to talk about what is going on in the community. And by so doing, the intention is that the community will be more sensitive to the rights of children, and there will be a protective and development environment for children. AMREF has been using the arts as a form of communication and expression by the children for the last 10 years. And this is on realizing that the arts in their forms, the theater, music, dance, poetry, video, have been very, very useful in the therapeutic process in the children and in helping them to communicate to the rest of the world, the community, about their experience. So in the last 10 years, we experimented with the theater, with video, and we saw that, yes, this works. And now we are in the second phase where we are training social workers, young social workers, to use theater, video, art, the graphic arts, as a way of re-socializing, rehabilitating children. And in the future, we hope that through this, they'll be able to go to other communities where children are facing challenges and use this technique, use theater and art as a tool for rehabilitation. The Dagoretti Child in Need project has been in existence for the last 13 years. And for those years, it has had a major impact on child protection, not just in the district, but even in the country. It was the first project to test a community-based approach to rehabilitation of children when everyone else was working on institutionalization of children. And so this is a model that the project has tested and now is being bought by the government and UNICEF and has been identified as a best practice. In addition to that, the project has also used different approaches to working with children, using videography, using theater, but from the perspective of the child. And this has been tested also and has been very successful, both in supporting the child to develop themselves as a communication tool and also as an advocacy tool. At the same time, the project has been able to support more than 3,800 children to go back to school and back to their families. And it has also been able to create awareness to more than 20,000 community members in Dagoretti, which for us is the key because we have to ensure that the community is sensitized on the issue of child protection for sustainability of this project. I've always had a passion for supporting the less fortunate in my community. When I was very young, all through school, I was involved in one volunteer project or the other. So working with children, disadvantaged children, came naturally for me. And when I was in university, I started volunteering for AMREF through the Ungana Young Friends of AMREF. And it's through this initiative that we were able to be part of the founding of the Dagoretti project when it started in the year 2000. And this for me has been a very interesting experience, very full of growth professionally, psychologically, and I derive a lot of strength and fulfillment in my life from the work that I do, because being able to transform the life of somebody who at some point was feeling hopeless or did not know what direction to take really is very satisfactory. There are times that you lose some of the friends that you've made because at some point they become your friends because you've walked a very long path and it really feels. But at the end of the day, the fact that you've done something, even for the one who maybe you've lost, you did something to make their life better, that transformed their life, that really drives me and keeps me doing the same. I think irrespective of where I go in my life, where I work, I'll always do something to make life better for somebody who is less fortunate than me, and I always derive a lot of satisfaction from that. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a doctor. That was my dream, and that's what I wanted to be. However, I did not make it to be a doctor, and it was a very difficult decision for me to turn to be a teacher instead. But when I got the opportunity to join AMREF, I was very happy because it gave me as a person an opportunity to get into the field that I always wanted to be in, which was health. After working for AMREF for some time, I joined the Dagoretti project, which then gave me an opportunity for my profession and my dream to melt, a melting point for both my profession and my dream, because I was able to get into the health sector, work with children with health issues and be able to support them, while at the same time using my skills as a teacher. And this for me was a great opportunity. It hasn't been an easy walk working with the children because as a person, there are things that you see happening to the children and it affects you. Because when I see the children, I see my children. However, there's always that point where you find that you've made a difference in a child's life, or you find a child coming back and saying thank you, and that gives you the strength to go on. So that despite the fact that you may work with a child and not succeed, seeing that child come into the center, closed up, not able to talk, but leave the center smiling, happy, and socializing is always what gives us the hope, and at least for me, gives me that strength to continue. And I feel I am making a difference in a child's life.